Welcome back to Sin City Speaks. I'm Loretta Holt, and we're talking to our guests today, Ken ONeill and Al Navarro from Strangford Lough, that's L-O-U-G-H, Brewing Company. Thought I'd mention that because I spelled it wrong a couple of times myself.
Now, you guys are doing an incredible thing, and, you know, I was really pleased yesterday when we talked, and you told me you were working with Nevada Development Authority.
Yes.
Summer has dedicated his life to helping businesses relocate to Nevada, and they give great opportunities, great tax breaks. There's all kinds of incentives, and this is a great place to live.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And they've done a wonderful job with us. I mean, they've bent over backwards, and I think maybe we got them a little bit excited when we actually, on the first meeting, showed up with a six-pack of beer and kind of bought them in really quickly.
I think that might have been Al's idea. He's like, grab a six-pack, and I brought a couple sample tap handles over there, and that went over really well. So it's Rule 101 for kids doing your job interview, right?
There you go. Bring beer and tap handles.
Bring beer and tap handles.
Well, let's talk about your beer.
Absolutely.
Your beer. St. Patrick.
Yes.
Recipe, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Tell us a little about St. Patrick's recipe.
Okay.
Was he a brewer? I thought he was a priest.
St. Patrick's was actually a brewer. A lot of history here, so I want to make sure that I don't mess this up. The guys in Ireland are listening to this right now. I'll get a phone call tonight at midnight. Ken, shouldn't have said that. St. Patrick. St. Patrick was a brewer. And St. Patrick's actually spent a lot of time in the Killyleagh area, which happens to be the headquarters for Strangford Lough Brewing Company. What the company decided a few years back, the company was founded by Mr. Tony Davies and Bob Little. We like to call Tony Big Tony.
Yeah, Big Tony.
Big Tony. Last time he came here to Vegas, I think I called him Big Papa, but I had to explain what that meant there.
I'm not allowed to call him boss anymore.
There we go. We can't call him boss. We call him Big Tony. So the company formed in 03, early 04, and decided that they acquired these recipes. That was a big thing. I don't know the full story behind this, but it was a bit of a coup. The company was able to acquire these recipes that date back about 1,000 years.
Wow.
And authentic Irish ale recipes. And what had happened was they decided, okay, let's come up with a good quality beer that is good to the palate, it's drinkable, works well, and see what we can do to ensure that we've got something that the public enjoys and that it's not seasonal. Because that was one of the biggest obstacles. We didn't want to make sure that we had a seasonal product that was just for one specific day, hence make every day St. Patrick's Day. So we've got this great recipe. We've registered and trademarked the name St. Patrick for beer, for spirits, i.e. we got a whiskey coming out a little bit later on down the line for you,
Irish
whiskey drinkers. Absolutely.
Got a wine.
Now, I have a question here. Do they use hops to make beer in Ireland or over there? They do. So it's a hop-based beer.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, what we do, George Thompson, who is the master brewer, we call him the chemist.
The chemist.
Because the guy's got this long amount of degrees. But George has developed a process in which the first part of our brew is actually done in Ireland to maintain the authenticity of the recipe itself. And they do a thing that's called mashing. Now I'm a lay person here, so I want to try to keep this really simple. But apparently, when we get the mash, George, Mr. Wizard, does a few things and is able to extract the water out of that mash, and what you have is a concentrate, a wort. And that wort is the key ingredient to our product.
It's not like stomping grapes, though.
No. But the good thing about it, it's non-alcoholic, so we can ship that to the U.S.,
And then you reconstitute it with water?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost kind of like, the Campbell's soup when you mix a little bit of water to it. Now, that's simplifying.
Does the quality of the water have any effect on the taste?
When you brew, you have a neutral water, which is pretty much standard. So if it's coming from here or if it's coming from another state, it's not going to make any difference. The key is that we've got that wort coming over.
You got the mash already made.
And it gives us the authenticity of the product.
So if we take some water and we put a little bit of this mash in it and shake it up like an instant drink, which is so popular now, would we be able to get it like an instant beer?
Not quite that easy.
I'm not getting it.
You're not getting a bottle of mash just for yourself.
I was thinking maybe if they can't bring me a six-pack, they could bring me some mash.
No. The key is the malting. We bring in this concentrate here to the U.S. We've got a wonderful partnership with High Falls Brewing Company out of Rochester, New York. They're the fourth largest brewer in the nation, and we're working very closely with them to help us finish this and get it transported around the United States. So we have essentially a premium import beer that's brewed in the craft tradition because we're an ale. but that recipe is coming from across the pond.
And what will be the alcohol content of this?
The St. Patrick's Best is 4.2, and the Leg Biter, and Al's going to get into that, I believe, in the next segment, is 4.8.
We're going to get into that right now.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
See,
Yes,
that's
tell
what-
us about
that's why you're
Leg
the
Biter.
host.
Is that the ale?
Well, they're all ales. We have 5 ales, and we have them in 2 different categories. We have the St. Patrick's brand, and we have what we call our Viking brand. And I'll let Ken start with the St. Patrick's brand, give a little bit of story about that, and it goes into the St. Patrick's thing that Loretta was so happy to hear about. And then I'll talk about the Viking brand.
Okay, we've got 2 minutes. Let's do this.
2 minutes on the spot. Talk about St. Patrick's.
Talk about St. Patrick's.
Well, the St. Patrick's brand, it's a wonderful beer. It pours good head, a lot of caramely flavors, very, very little aftertaste on that product, which is very good. It's something that you could drink every day. We call it a sipping bitter. It's our barge beer.
Okay.
Sit down, have a pint, drink it over and over again without any problems whatsoever.
And then with the Leg Biter, the Leg Biter and Bear Legs fall under our what we call our Viking brand. They come after Magnus Bear Legs, King Magnus Barefoot, known as Bear Legs because of his fighting style. When he fought, he would fight in a very short kilt so he could run after you. He had a sword called Leg Biter, named after his fighting style, which is basically, if you can all remember that scene in Monty Python, he takes you off the legs so you can't run, and then he finishes you off. So Bear Legs, named after King Magnus Bear Legs, the only Viking king actually buried outside of Norway, and our Leg Biter Ale that is named after his sword, which actually still exists in a museum in Oslo. So there's a lot of history behind this. Both he and St. Patrick at different times had actually sailed into Strangford Lough and set up business there in the County Down area. And that's where the history of the 5 drinks that we have, 3 under the St. Patrick brand and 2 under the Viking brand, come from.
That's exciting. You know what else excites me? You know, I'm like ancient, and I've been drinking beer for a long time. When I was younger, I drank a lot of beer, and we always ordered beer, usually a brand name, but we never ordered a pint. And ever since I saw the Tolkien trilogy and Frodo and the Hobbits, and they ordered pints, and they made such a big to-do out of it, I thought it would be cool if you went to a bar and ordered a pint. So hopefully where this beer gets placed, people will be able to order pints.
Absolutely.
Are you going to have it in kegs as well as 6-packs
We
and
will
bottles?
do bottles. We will do kegs. We will have 6-packs. We will have plenty of pints, and we actually we will announce a competition today for all the listeners out there. We'll probably end up doing that in the next segment.
Right now, do it.
Right now,
No, I don't have time.
I think we're going to have to do the next
We're
segment.
going to have a hard break pretty soon.
I got to get my reading glasses on too. Al's going to make fun of me. The guys forced me to get glasses because of my eyesight. So
Okay, well,
Actually, we're going to have these gentlemen come back and join us on a second show so we can get more into this.
because
Good,
I
good.
want to talk more about your. Oh, okay. I got to go break. I'm Loretta Holt, and we're broadcasting on wsRadioLV.com, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.